Good morning, friends. This morning topic is very relevant for school children and particularly for parents, teachers, and budding talents. Nurturing creativity among the children. Creativity in children is their unique ability to use imagination, originality, and problem solving to generate new ideas. Children need to generate new ideas, and this habit should develop right from the early and pre-primary and primary level. The parents must encourage children to use imagination in drawing, painting, play, art, and storytelling. These are the activities which must be encouraged in schools and institutions to develop children's unique responses to their experience, crucial for holistic development, fostering cognitive skills, emotional regulations, social growth, and self confidence, nurtured by curiosity. There should be a lot of encouragement from the teachers and the parents, particularly to those children who are interested in drawing and painting. Particularly, this is that could be nurtured right from pre-primary and primary section. When the children are in class 1 or class nursery and pre-primary sections up to 5, the teachers must take care of bringing them to open, exploration. For example, give them diverse materials like recycled items, which and ask them to use like some space, a spacecraft. Ask them to use some objects of day to day observations. Ask them to fold the paper in different way. Give them diverse materials and ask them, and also sometimes ask them to tell some small stories that they have originally thought of or made of. Imaginative play. Organize a small skit by primary and upper primary sections and let them be free to write their script and stage it in front of the other students. That will develop imaginative skill among the children. And then problem solving. Find multiple ways to the children to solve problems, tackle problems and challenges. Give them some challenging artistic projects where they can find out, where they can conduct a survey, talk to their parents, talk to their neighborhood, and gather information, and on the basis of the information ask them to draw inferences about that project. Then develop them curiosity by asking, what if this happens, what will happen? Experimental learning or experiential learning must be encouraged from class 1 to 5. And it is not only that only class 9 and 10 can have experiential learning. Then ask the children not to sit before a screen because it spoils the creativity. Read and discuss some of the diverse short stories among them. Ask them open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are very important for developing creativity in their thought and imagination. And in order to foster creativity, welcome questions asked by the children to find the answer themselves. Don't give them the answer. Allow them to discuss the answer. Create a space for designated area, particularly for exploring in the neighborhood of the schools and institution. There are certain simple ways to develop creativity among children. The first and foremost thing is just to nurture, you know, the curiosity of observation. Ask the children to nurture the habit of observation. Make them learn through touching the objects. Designate some creative space for them and make them provide them some material, some creative thought. Supply them with some variety of materials and creative tools. And then it is very important to ask them about certain tips that they should follow. For instance, if the children are interested in, working at home, ask them to or provide them some, free time to talk and discuss about the way they start working. Like if they have been given a story to read, after reading the story, ask them to in for the theme of this story. Choose activities that makes them use their senses. Allow them some free time to give a thought. Find a happy medium between being over involved and not being involved. Encourage children to develop passions for art and drawing. Foster creativity through their imaginative, and cognitive skills. Develop in them certain cognitive skills. Allow them to read different short stories, because creativity is a skill that benefit from one and all, and it flourishes with encouragement. So it is very important to designate a creative space to the children. Provide examples. It is very important that you should provide them example. Give them a blank page and ask them to describe themselves. Assessment. Ask them to describe some event which might create certain kind of panic situation in the children. Show them some projects and pictures and videos to spark ideas. Encourage the children not to just copy but to exemplify. They themselves will become an example and find out the ways that they can really learn the things. Then most important, go beyond paper and crayons. It is not necessary that only they can create art and craft through the brush and paint. No, ask them to use robotic kits, printers. Ask them to use bits and squares. Give them cloth material and ask them to make or stitch some sort of things like handkerchief. Ask them to make a cloth magazine. Ask them to make kinetic sand. Ask them to use tracing paper. Ask them to cut out letters. Ask them to create puzzles. Ask them to color the chalks. Ask them to paint the kits. Ask them to create some shape of jewelry, shape of boxes, and ask them to use decorative, art and craft that they can be used on school functions. That is also very important. And that is the way you can nurture creativity among the children, because creativity is the core of learning, it is the core of education, and that's what I wanted to emphasize upon. Thank you. Have a nice morning. This is Eddie Singh.